guys? Jared Welch, RacingDudes.com, back for more Kentucky Derby analysis and review this time. The Kentucky Derby is over, and we are here for some post-mortem to look over this race. What happened? What didn't happen? What did we expect? What did I not expect? Just kind of a, I'm also here just to do it with you, because it wasn't my pick. Tapit Trice didn't run great. Kind of look over that, what we think of him moving forward, what I think. How Mage ran, all the things, kind of just an overview of the horses that I thought were most impressive. If you want more detailed analysis of the trip notes, Halterman did a video on that on our YouTube channel. Just make sure you look for that video here, and to get more analysis of kind of that. But for me, I just wanted to kind of look at some of the kind of digest this a little bit with you guys and go through some of these horses that I thought were overly impressive, or maybe ones that maybe looked better than they really were. All right, so first and foremost, right, we got to talk about Mage, the winner. Unbelievable. I mean, listen, here's the thing. If you would have said, if you had told me that, okay, the top three finishers of the Kentucky Derby will be Mage, Two Phils, Angel Empire, not totally unbelievable. In fact, I liked all three of those horses. I had all three of those horses in my exacta. But if you would have said, hey, by the way, Mage is going to win this thing by being in 16th place early in the race, I would have said, you're nuts. Would they all fall over? I mean, because I think anybody, and listen, so much credit goes to Savage for having the balls to pick this horse. He picked Mage to win the Kentucky Derby. 15-1 is what this horse went off at. You probably got higher odds if Forte would have been in the race. And by the way, I do think Mage would have beat Forte. Had a nice exacta there. Forte keyed at second. I think it would have hit because I think Mage was not going to be beat this day. But anyways, I mean, he great job picking horse. With that said, there's no way if you would have said, hey, at the half, the first half of the race, he's in 16th place, you're not picking him, because the reason you like this horse is because you think he'll be more forwardly placed. And while I agree with his analysis of, he did show that versatility of, even if he doesn't break, he's going to give you a run. To expect this kind of run is just unimaginable. And like I said, I don't think anybody was beating him this day. He ran so good. You can make excuses for Tapit Trice and Derma and some of these horses. We'll get to them in a second. The reality is Tapit Trice and Mage were right there pretty close to each other, 18th and 16th early in this race, and one horse had it, one didn't. So listen, it was not like a kind of start and stop. I mean, Mage just kind of ran the whole way. He just kept coming and kept coming, and it was unbelievable to watch. Even I've watched this race 1,000 times since. I still can't believe that he won. Mind you, this is a horse that broke the curse of Apollo, and I'm in agreement with everyone now that I don't think this is as big as a deal anymore. Justified was the first to break that curse of Apollo. Now we've seen Mage do it. He didn't. Mage first start was on the Pegasus undercard. So it's crazy that now he's won the Kentucky Derby. I just don't think it's much of a thing anymore. And I'll be honest, I was one of those that preached that it was. And that was a big reason why I couldn't have picked Mage to win this race, even though I did like him to run well. Listen, it is what it is. He ran huge. Just massive, massive effort. If he runs this race again in the Preakness, and I love First Mission. Love me some First Mission. They're running for second, because this is a horse that, if he can duplicate that effort, we will be running for a Triple Crown. Because this effort, this is a very talented horse. And who knows what he can do if he could ever break. That's the other thing too. He broke worse than almost every horse in the race. Now, obviously it worked out well, but you look at Tapit Trice. Tapit Trice broke excellent. He broke much better than Mage did. He just was Mage got a better position. He was faster after that, but the break itself was terrible. Once again, he just found a trip and worked a trip out. Just unbelievable effort there. All right, Two Phils, maybe the best performance of the race that wasn't a winner. How about that? Two Phils ran huge. He clearly showed that the last race on the synthetic was not a fluke. This is a for real horse. Set there on the pace, the only horse to sit, to be on that pace or very close to the pace, and hang on and go forward. Two Phils ran a winning race. I do think if you want to be critical, and I don't, it wasn't a bad ride, but I do think Loveberry went a tad too quick. I think he saw the opening, kind of had skirt up the rail there, and saw the opening and just went with it. You have a horse that's looks like he's home free at the Kentucky Derby. He goes. They weren't even into the stretch yet. He's gone. And maybe the horse just tired out a tad late in the race. And of course, again, I don't know that it mattered. Mage may have got him anyways. May have been a little closer though, towards the end there. Maybe more of a head than it was like a length. If he would have waited just a little bit. But I mean, I don't blame the ride. I mean, that he looked like a winner. I think Two Phils he's skipping the Preakness. I don't know. We'll see what they do as far as the Belmont goes. Definitely a horse I think is going to be seen and heard of this summer. He's a very talented horse, lots of speed. Very clearly is an up and comer and showed that. Probably ran a winning race really in the Kentucky Derby. Angel of Empire. I looked at this one. This finished third in the race. The way I kind of look at it is like he is what he is, right? I don't know that he's a good horse, but he just kind of he's not quite quick enough to early. He was way back in this race. His 15th, 16th early, right there back with Mage and Tapit Trice. And you watching the turn, like Castellano just goes right by him. Mage shoo. Pratt's like, oh shit, I gotta go. He gave him the go ahead. And all of a sudden, I think Mage caught everybody off guard because he just went flying by them all in one run. And you just see this blur go by and thought, oh shit, now we got to go. This horse is taking off. And that's what happened with Angel Empire. He came running late. He strikes me as a horse that he's not quick enough early. A little, he's more tactical than Tapit Trice, but has a little bit of the issues of not sure that he can win a big race like this by these tactics, just because he just seemed to be a little bit late to the game in terms of kind of making his run. And by then it was too late. So we'll see. I do think he's a nice horse. Be interested to see if we see him in the Belmont. From there, it seems like another horse, right, that we'll see a lot of the summer. Disarm. This is probably the biggest surprise for me personally. I know a lot of people did like Disarm. 27-1, finished fourth. I thought, initially when I watched it, I thought, okay, this is a horse that just benefited greatly from the pace meltdown, and he did. But a lot of these horses did. Watching it back over a few more times, him and Derma Stotogatki, which a lot of people are, and myself included, giving a lot of credit to for how well he ran. Considering the poor start, Disarm ran every bit as good. They were side by side for a lot of this race, and Disarm did cut the corner a little bit, heading for home, and Derma had to kind of cut out wide a little bit. But listen, I think Disarm ran a nice race. I don't know what he really is, right? I think he is kind of what he is, a little bit like Angel of Empire. He shows signs of being good. I would be hesitant to think that he can be like the superstar horse, but I do think when the pace is like this, he is a true enough horse where he will give you a nice little run, nice little addition there to that superfecta for those that used him. Hit Show for me finished fifth. This is a horse that I think he's just been kind of a tough luck horse. Had a bad trip in the wood. Had a bad trip here, drawing the one. But all things considered, I say that, but all things considered, I thought you can't ask for what Franco did as far as worked out a trip. I mean, it was for drawing the one hole. There was no traffic for him. He got him in a good position. He broke well. He got him in a good spot first. He got him out, in the backstretch. He got him out, just in a perfect spot. Turn for Home, if this is a 1.8 mile race, he might be a winner, or at least right there. He's a nice horse. He just got tired, you know, just maybe a little too much for him. But I just like the way he ran both his last 2 races. Probably should have won at least one of those. Like, again, he may not be quite good enough, but he's a true horse, and I do think down the road he'll win one of these. Maybe not a Grade 1, but I would be surprised if he doesn't win something major, decently major this summer. Dermo Sotogake finished 6th here. You know, just missed the break. It was awful. You know, the connections wanted him to be forwardly placed, which this may have been the benefit. I mean, if he would have been forwardly placed, you know, he may have been in that suicidal situation as well with these other horses, and it may have been even worse. He ran a nice, you know, Turning for Home. He looked like he might be making a run to win this thing, and just kind of got tired late. Heading back to Japan for him. Won't see him again unless it's, you know, maybe the Breeders' Cup. But, you know, he's not winning the Triple Crown, which I know a lot of people thought he might. Probably better than he was just based off that. But, you know, again, it's just another thing with the UAE Derby and Japanese horses in general. But just, it's tough when you know, these horses that look so good and they get to the Derby, and we know how the Derby is, and trips happen and everything is out the window, and it's just they haven't seen something like this with the crowds and the massive fields and you know, one missed break, and the next thing you know, you got, you know, 18 other horses or whatever in your way, and it's tough. And so he probably ran one of the better races, I thought, of the field, but just, you know, had too much to do and got tired. All right, now finally I saved the best or worst for last. Tapit Trice finished 7th here. Listen, I can't sugarcoat this. I can't make, you know, two bones about it. Like, listen, I don't necessarily think he ran terrible. I was drastically wrong about the trip, okay? If you would have told me, kind of similar to Mage, if you would have told me, hey, when he hit the backstretch, he's going to be in 18th place, which was last in this 3 years running, but if you're going to be in last place, I would have said, well, then I'm not picking him. He's not my pick. I thought he would work a better trip, and I thought he'd be in a better position Turning for Home to make a run. And bottom line is, he wasn't. He had to use a lot of, you know, size, had to use a lot of the horse to get in position, got tired late. Listen, I didn't think it was a great ride either, which when you're in that position, it's tough. You're going to get stopped. He got stopped several times. It was funny. Mage kept beating him to the punch in all these spots. You know, early in the race, Mage cuts him off on the rail, and that kind of got him into last place from there because he had to back off of him. And another thing, too, was like, Luis Saez, like I said earlier, broke perfectly. They broke out of the gate. He was one of the first horses out of the gate, frankly. And then, he pumped on him a few times, but then it looked like was complacent with where he was at. And then Mage cut him off, had to go back even further. The next thing you know, you're in 18th place, hitting the backside. And it's like, dude, I mean. And then he gets stopped 2 more times on the backstretch, trying to make his runs. And he's not a horse that just push button like a Mage where you just go. Really, or a lot of these horses, you know, Angel of Empire, he's more of the slow and steady, keeps getting faster and faster. And if he keeps getting stopped, it's not going to be his thing. To me, it was he ever going to win this race? I don't think so, based off of how good Mage ran. Would he have been a lot closer in a lot better position based off of how I thought he was going to set himself up in the race? Yes. So really, to me, I looked at this and said, hey, I was just wrong about the way I thought this race would unfold, where he would be. It's just another factor of the Kentucky Derby, right? So, heading to the Belmont, they weren't even off the track yet, I don't think, and Pletcher was saying that he's going to the Belmont. So, no surprise there. I think we all thought that. At this point, we'll see what Mage does in the Preakness, see what happens there. But at this point, he would still be my Belmont horse. He's you go watch Mo Donegal last year's Kentucky Derby, very similar. Kind of looked whatever down the stretch of the race. Not super exciting. Then of course, he's just a horse that was bred to go that distance in the Belmont, and I think Tapit Trice is that way. But yeah, so there's a top 7, and past that, I really Raise Cane, Rocky Can, Confidence Game. Yeah, I would expect a little bit better out of him next time out. Obviously we hadn't seen this horse since February, but I thought he ran okay considering. Sun Thunder, Mandarin Hero, Reincarnate, Kingsbarn. I mean, my goodness, you got to if you're the connections of Kingsbarns, you got to. Jose Ortiz may not ride for you again. I mean, dude, that was just suicidal. Now, some of these horses in that front end, Verifying, Reincarnate, some of those horses that were forwardly placed closer, you can understand them going quick, but I mean, I don't know, what are you doing with you got to know that you're going fast, and I get that Kingsbarns is a nice horse, but that was nuts. So he's one that obviously I would be surprised if we see him again in the Triple Crown, just because that race had to take a ton out of that horse, just especially being that was his very lightly raced horse in his first loss. So there you go. Past that, that's the field for me. The horses I liked, horses I didn't like out of the race. Looking here, I think I would have said prior that the Preakness winner is not going to come out of the Derby because I like First Mission. I think Mage definitely is going to make a run for that case, and I do think Tapit Trice is, as at this point, would be my Belmont pick. But let me know your comments below. What do you think of the Kentucky Derby? How have you digested this thing? How are we getting forward through this? Did you pick Mage? Were you against Mage? How did you feel if you picked him, and how did you feel early in the race? Did you think the bet was washed? It's such an interesting way. It's you can be right and wrong all at the same time, and Mage kind of did that in the Kentucky Derby. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel at YouTube, and thanks again for watching all the Kentucky Derby coverage, and we'll be back for more Preakness coverage headed your way. See you guys.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. The Triple Crown is in full swing, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.